Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Weddings and Mimosas. Today I have a very exciting guest, one of my favorite guests, Dora Petit Dillard.
Hey, hi y'all.
So,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, of course.
So I will grab my sparkling water with strawberries, and I think you have champagne.
I have champagne,
Oh,
peach flavor.
oh that sounds amazing.
It is really good.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Salud, like we
Salud.
say in Venezuela.
Before we started recording, Dora told me that your last name is French. Petit is French.
Yes, it is. On my dad's side, I have some French background. I don't speak any French, by the way, but that's my original last name.
Wow. And that is your business's name, Dora Petit.
Yes, it started when I wasn't married, so I kind of came from that.
It has a really great flow. Dora Petit makeup.
Thank you. That's me.
So when did you get married?
I got married last June, June 16th, 2022.
It's a good day to get married.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a list of questions for you. Very exciting. I wrote them down this morning. So let's see how many we get through.
Yeah.
So we worked together last year. I'm always on the hunt for really good makeup artists and hair. I think you did the hair for it too. I just remember the makeup and it all just being so stunning. And I was like, who is this woman? Because this is amazing. So I met you at a wedding. You did a fabulous job. You made it to the top of my preferred vendor list because of it. What made you get into this?
Well, I'm going to make the long story short because I think it's very interesting, but I'm from Venezuela. I'm a dentist in my country. And when I started working as a dentist, I was very young. I was about 23 years old. And I started working for a doctor office that they all had been working for like 23 years. So it was like 23 years of experience. And me, the baby, I was just like 23 years old. And first day I show up to work, my boss told me, you need to put makeup on. Like you cannot come to work with your clean face because you look so young. Patients are not gonna want to be seen by you. And I was like, okay, not a big deal. So I found a makeup class because I didn't know how to do makeup at all. I always liked it, but I never had zero experience on it. And then I took a makeup class and I was like, this is very interesting. And by the time YouTube makeup tutorials were starting to become popular and I see all these makeup artists on YouTube and I was like, I'm sorry, that's the champagne hitting. And I was like, there were so many different techniques and I wanted to learn them all because in the makeup class that I took, it was just like one or two for like your daily makeup.
Basic.
So yeah, very basic. So I took a professional makeup class for like 3 months and I was like, okay, this is just for me. I'm not going to work as a makeup artist. This is just for fun. Then I moved to Dominican Republic. And when I got there, I realized that Dominican Republic is a huge wedding destination. Like people from all over the world go there to get married. And makeup business is a huge thing because there's so many weddings happening that makeup academies everywhere, makeup artists like teaching classes everywhere. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a couple of classes. And then I ended up working for a bridal makeup studio.
Wow.
And then I fell in love with it. I started traveling all over the country in the Dominican Republic for different weddings. And that's how I stepped aside from dentistry and I started doing makeup full time.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So you're very talented. You can be fixing someone's teeth and getting them ready at the same time.
Day. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you get to Oklahoma?
Well, when I was living in Dominican Republic, I met my husband, who is from Oklahoma. We met online, like most of couples nowadays. Then he went there to visit me, and right at the time COVID hit, And it was very stressful because one day I just started receiving calls from all my brides from the whole year canceling their weddings.
Yeah.
And then that was the only thing I was doing. I wasn't doing dentistry by then. I was full-time makeup artist.
Just doing weddings.
And then it was at that time, he was my boyfriend. He told me, well, you don't have anything left there. I didn't have any family, not many friends. I was just there pretty much working. And then he told me, why don't you just come to Oklahoma? And I was like, I didn't even know where Oklahoma was, I have to be honest.
I didn't either when I lived there. Where is Oklahoma?
Yeah. And then I came here in the middle of COVID, and that first year was very rough because I had 0 clients. But after, I would say last year, it took off pretty fast, and now I'm pretty busy.
I hope so. You're very, very talented. And what a story.
Thank you.
So you've been doing makeup all over the world.
In a few places, yeah.
I would if I had done that, I would be like, I traveled across the world doing makeup. Look how blessed you are for me to touch your face. So how long have you been doing this then?
It's about 7 years now.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
So you have all the stories, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
All the things. So I feel like a lot of brides, when I'm talking with them about their wedding day, something that they're really concerned about is their makeup, because it's their face. And that was something that I was really concerned about when I got married. I was like, it's my face. I'm kind of controlling about my face. There's a lot of insecurities. So what are your tips for brides who don't have access to you, that live across, the world? I guess you travel, so they should just hire you. But
I am.
but what are your tips for them when they're looking for a makeup artist? What should they look for?
Well, the first thing that most of the brides tell me when they come to me is, I want to look like myself, but I also want to look a little bit special because it's my big day. I'm the bride. So I always tell them, try to keep it timeless. You don't want to go with a crazy trend that you saw on TikTok, because maybe in 20 years it's not going to look good, and you're going to look at your pictures and you'll be like, oh my goodness, why was I thinking? So try to keep it true to your style. Don't go too crazy. But also, if you're one of those that doesn't wear makeup that often, or you don't like to wear a whole lot of makeup, you're going to be kissed by a lot of people. You're going to be photographed by a lot of people. You're going to be seen by a lot of people. And you want to keep your look throughout the night or the day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go way too simple, with very light coverage or almost no makeup is not going to last as long as you would like to. And it's not going to be noticeable in pictures. So my tips are, get a professional, try to communicate as well with your makeup artist or your styling team about your preferences, but also realize that you are a bride, it's a special day, and you might need a little bit extra that day.
We all like extra.
Yeah.
So I've heard from different professionals, and I'm always curious because I hear things, and if I hear it from multiple people, I kind of relate it to my brides and grooms. But then when I talk to people who are like experts in this, I always like to know, hey, is what I've heard actually true? Everyone wants to be tan on their wedding. I'm like pale as a ghost, and even I tried to get a tan on, and it kind of worked. It really didn't. But what's the best way to tan? Because I've heard spray tans, you should not do that.
Well, I honestly have I will have to say now I've gained a little bit of experience since I've lived here, but my whole life I lived in Caribbean countries. So tanning for us is not a problem. People, it's like darker skin, and we are always close to the beach. So people will go to the beach and tan. So that was one of the main things that I had to get used to when I got here, because I had brides that were very fair skin on the trial day, and then on the wedding day, it was a different story.
Oh no.
And the first few times I freaked out because basics of makeup, it's you can be either cool or warm tones, undertone. And then will people come with oranges, like orange skin tone? It's like, I don't have any foundation that can match that.
Oh,
So I started to introduce to my kid, different shades, like a different range of shades for those brides. But
backup
I
shades.
yes, I would love. I always tell to brides, try to go to a very uh, a, a good place. Try to find the best tanning place, because if you try to go cheap or someone that doesn't have experience, it's gonna turn into a nightmare, because it's gonna be not because I don't have the shade of your color, it's because it is not compatible with different products. And I had a bride that I think she got a spray tan and started to sweat after, and her whole bag had a stain. It was like a brown stain. And I spent more time trying to cover that stain than doing her whole makeup. So I would say, if you don't do it often, just don't do it. I'll give you a tan look. I'll give you a bronzy look with a nice contour. You know, I can do until the negligee and everything, but just don't if you don't have to. If you have to, well, try to find the best person to do it, a very professional. But for me, it has become a little bit a nightmare sometimes.
I hear nightmares from photographers all the time saying they have to
Yeah.
Photoshop and all this stuff. And yeah, getting tan
Yeah, it
for
is.
some of us is a very complicated. We're not blessed with
Yeah.
tan genes. Okay, that's a great, great tip for this. So, for brides who really want to look like themselves, so they say, I think I do a fine job doing my own makeup. I'm scared to hire someone to do it. What's your recommendation to them? Do you say
That's
even if they want to just do it themselves, would you say always hire someone?
Well, if they're comfortable doing it themselves, I will just maybe recommend some products, or take a look to their kit and see, hey, this is waterproof. This is not gonna work for that day. Because when people are good doing their own makeup, they usually have products that are not bad, but are meant to be for daily use. Use something simple. A professional kit, for like the things that we use, are meant to last longer, to photograph better, to look better in pictures, to be more durable throughout the day. But also, that's when a trial, it's the perfect thing to do. Like, you will you can tell me, hey, I do my makeup every day, I like how I do it, this is how I you can show me a picture, this is how I actually do my makeup, and based on that I can create a look that suits your personality or your style, but also will work on a wedding day when you're gonna be a long time wearing makeup, taking pictures, dancing, sweating, crying, and take care of those things.
I think there's so much that we, as people that don't live in this world of professional makeup, professional hair, wedding day, everything, just don't know. And so we might think, oh, it's going to be fine. But like I was just watching The Bachelor, as I do. I forced my husband to watch it with me. And one of the girls came out of the limo. I don't know if you watch that show.
I know what it is, but I don't watch it. I haven't.
Yeah, you don't have to. But one of the girls came out and she had like a body shimmer on, and most body oils are very beautiful, but it was like glittery, and she just looked like a disco ball. And she didn't know what the lights would do, but it was very noticeable and very funny. And so stuff like that, we all just have no idea. And that's why it's so nice to hire someone, even if we think we're kind of good. We just don't have the expertise that you want.
Yes, exactly. You don't get married every day, so you want something special for that day.
Exactly. And not looking like glittery, strange.
Yeah.
So, you've been doing this for 7 years. What do you love most about it? Because 7 years is a long time, especially in the wedding world. People burn out very quickly.
Yeah.
And so you've been in it for a while. So what do you love most about working in the wedding industry?
I just love, that's what I think made me fall in love of this when I first started. See the magic, like you see a bunch of ladies, the bride with her bridesmaids and their moms coming in nervous and they get emotional, and then you do their makeup, their hair, and they put on their dress, and it's like, I did that. Like I was part of that. You know, you see, and sometimes I've had brides that they hug me or they send me messages a couple days after, and it's like, I cannot believe that people pay me to do this. You know, it's something that it's unreal for me.
That's so sweet. And you can feel that love when you're in the room. You walked into the room, and the wedding we worked together was kind of stressful. There were stressful things going on behind the scenes that we don't have to talk about, but you walked into that room, and it felt like this calmness just take over. And that's very hard to find in a professional. And I was very impressed. You could just feel the peace just ooze over everyone. And I was just like, yes, everyone's staying here.
I always say to my brides that I don't want to be an extra stress for you. I want to take stress out of your shoulders because I know there's a lot. So if I can do anything to help, or even on the hiring process when we're talking about contracts, I'm very I always worried a lot about replying messages early. I don't like to leave with people waiting 2 or 3 days to hear back from me. So I always try to be one less problem on your list. You have plenty of things to worry about after you hire me for makeup and hair. You have 2 less problems.
That's right. You've got, one less problem with you on the team. Okay. So let's talk about your favorite makeup tips. What are your tips for making your makeup last longer?
The first, and it's the very most important, it's nice skin preparation. You can have the most fancy, expensive products, but if you don't do a proper skin prep before, it's not gonna work. So always moisturizing your face according to the skin type. People can be either oily or dry skin or combination. So having products that work for your skin type, also good products as well. I because I am a makeup artist, I had to make a huge investment in good products, but you can make a nice investment, and those are products that are going to last a long time. And basically that you don't need a great technique to make your makeup last longer. It's more about the products, but also the right products for you.
So picking the right things that match best.
Yes, if you have oily skin, you can moisturize your face with dry skin products or vice versa. And also, you don't need a whole lot. You know, need a lot of products. I always use a moisturizer, then a primer, something for pores. How do you say that? Like when people have open pores, I don't know how to say it. And then a setting spray. And try to always get products that are waterproof, last a little bit longer than products that are not. If you get oily or sweaty, products that are not waterproof it's much easier than waterproof.
I'm learning so much through this. Makeup's gonna look so much better. Yes. What's your favorite setting spray?
Oh, I have it right here.
Oh,
I'm in my makeup room. This is the MAC Fix Plus. This is the coconut scent. I love it. I use different ones, but I use that one before applying makeup. That's the first product I use ever. Then during the process, I spray a little bit more, and then after that done, I use that one. So 3 times for makeup.
I'm gonna pick that up. And coconut sounds amazing.
It
So
smells really good. I
tropical.
get compliments all the time.
Mm, 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 mm. So, talking about things that are waterproof, what is your suggestion for brides? I think everyone sheds a few tears on their wedding day, but others of us had moments where I just cried.
Yeah.
And so, what is your tips for that? Because I cried when my maid of honor was on it. She was like, "I got this," and she fixed it all. But what is your suggestion for like brides who are crying on their wedding day? Like, what should they have on hand? I know you always pack a to-go kit, which is amazing for your
Yeah.
brides. But what do you recommend for brides that are stressed about, if that situation happens and there's some crying
Yeah.
action, how do you recommend
Well, the
to
first, make sure that you use a waterproof mascara. That can be life changing because it's not the same if you drop a little tear with a lot of no waterproof mascara. It's gonna draw a black line across your face. And that's the main thing. There are many other products that are waterproof, but if you don't have a professional kit, it might sound like a lot, but just a good concealer, a good foundation, and set with setting powder, with a translucent setting powder. Then when you cry, you can cry like no problem, but you just be careful. I will always talk to my brides, just think you're a princess and just tap down
yeah.
with a dry tissue, dry tissue, and just dab, and try to catch those tears. If you try to do this with a tissue, you're gonna ruin your makeup.
Mm.
So just grab a dry tissue and do this skin. I also pack in my makeup the emergency kit that I give to my brides, a few Q-tips. So if you
Mm.
have that handy, you can just grab one and press onto your eyelash line and try to get all the moisture from there.
That is so clever. I remember seeing your emergency kits and I was like, this is genius. I'd never seen someone do that, but it's
Oh,
genius.
really?
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
It's wonderful. I had a bride come to a wedding, and so the makeup artist, did her everything, and the bride showed up, and the makeup artist didn't give her any lipstick to do it. And I was like, didn't she even give you like a little lipstick sample? And she's like, no, she didn't. And I was like, oh no.
Hire me, hire me.
I know this would not happen with you.
Yes, all my brides leave with a makeup touch-up kit. That it has everything that you'll need in case of emergency.
It's very nice. I can attest. It's very, very nice. What is your favorite wedding day that you look back on and you were like, oh, this is like my favorite? Do you have a favorite? And if so, what is it?
Ooh, I. You mean that from past brides?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've had. I recently had a wedding. It was last December, and the mother of the bride and the bride, they were so sweet. Like they were like, I left that place like being family with those people.
Oh,
It was so sweet. It was the Canadian Theater
oh, it's a
um,
beautiful
in
venue.
Purcell. Yeah, that's a beautiful venue. It's one of my favorites. But I think I feel like I'm lucky. I really get along really good with my bride. Um, I've always had good experiences with them, and that's what keeps me doing this. Because if I wasn't having a good time, I wouldn't be doing this. I have a full-time job during the week. I'm a dental assistant, and so I work Tuesday to Fridays on people's teeth, and then on weekends I do weddings. So
It's so
I
fun.
think I do this. It's still as a hobby, but it pretty much become a full-time job too because I have to send quotes, collect payments, post on social media, and things like that that also take time. But I feel like oh, you know what? I just remember one. A beautiful venue in Tulsa. It's called. Uh, The mansion by it's a
Oh,
mansion in Tulsa.
oh,
It's a garden
that
and
sounds
it has a mansion
beautiful.
in it. It is really pretty. I have pictures of that wedding. It's this huge building with like a early 19 decoration. The floor it's
Oh,
all like black and white
oh, I
tiles
love that.
with a nice stairs, and it was really pretty.
Oh, I love pretty buildings. If I find
Yeah, that
someone
was
getting married somewhere really pretty, I really try and get on that
yeah,
wagon.
yes.
Go to
That's
pretty
that's
places.
that's something that makes me like I want this bride because when I see that venue, I want to go work. I want to go work there. I love that venue.
It does make a difference. Pretty venues matter.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. So, we don't have to get into like details, but can you tell us the craziest wedding day you've ever been at?
Ooh, well, at this wedding, um, it was in Tulsa, so I had to drive all the way there. Oh no, let me not talk about that. I'll talk about that later. Um, when I first started doing this, I always worked by myself. I never had an assistant because I mean, I didn't think it was necessary until I started to get more business, more business, more business, and it was a time to say, hey, I need an assistant, I need help. So I hired this girl to be my assistant, and on the wedding day, she didn't show up.
Oh no.
Yes, it was crazy. And then I had to go to Ponca City, I think, and it was like 11 girls, so I needed help. When I got there, my hair partner told me, "Hey, where's your assistant?" And I was like, no show. Like she didn't even call me or anything.
Oh my gosh.
So I did 11 girls by myself. They were all done on time. They were ready on time, but it was so stressful. Like in my head, I could only think about you have 11 clients and they need to be ready by 2. And it was like 7 a.m. And I was like, how am I going to do this? But it turned out good. I survived. They were already on time, but it was really stressful.
That sounds really stressful.
Yeah.
Whew. Help. Good help is hard to find.
It is. Now I'm lucky because my sister just moved into the country a
Oh,
few months ago and now she's working with me. Now I know she can now leave me alone. Like she will always show up. So
yeah.
now I'm safe there.
She better show up.
She better.
Very awkward family gatherings if she stopped. That is crazy. 11 people. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
I think that's the most I've done by myself. I've done more, but with help. But 11 by myself, like in 5 hours, it was crazy.
I don't know how you did that. I feel like it used to be really in to have so many bridesmaids. Like I had one and there were 14 bridesmaids and groomsmen. And the bridal parties used to be huge. But post COVID, they've
Yeah,
really scaled back, which I think is kind of nice.
yeah, yeah. Well, I have an upcoming wedding in June with 14.
Oh my. So maybe they haven't. There's just so
Yeah,
many to wrangle. It's fun, but there are a lot to wrangle.
yes,
It's like
yeah, it's a lot.
everyone stick together.
Yes, it is a lot.
Okay. So your favorite wedding day we've talked about, the craziest wedding day we've talked about. Um, what are okay. I'm just making sure I'm going in order. It's like I'm out of order. Now I'm going back. I'm heading back to my list. Okay. So we've talked about your wonderful setting spray. Do you have any other products that you think are must-haves for people, for the lay people like us?
Well, like I said, moisturizer. That's the main thing. It doesn't have to be fancy. I started the when I first started doing makeup, I was just using a Pond's moisturizer. It worked good. Now, since you get more clients and you want to be more exclusive and this and that, I'm using different brands according to people's complexion. But let me see if I can find it. I'm in love with this moisturizer. I can find it, but it's from Mac. Oh, here it is.
We love Mac.
We love Mac.
Oh.
It's Stereo Radiance Moisturizing Plus Illuminating Sulky Primer. It works really good for people with dry skin. But yeah, I discovered this recently, and it's really good.
That sounds wonderful. We love a good primer. So, Dora, you're my favorite makeup artist I've actually ever worked with. You're top on my list. You're just so lovely. Now, you are based in Oklahoma City. Do you travel?
I do.
You do. How far do you travel? Do you travel nationwide, worldwide?
Nationwide. Nationwide.
So anyone can get a hold of you for their wedding day.
Oh, of course. Just call me.
What is your preferred way of contact? Like, do you have an Instagram that you want to send people to? How can people find you?
I have an Instagram account. It's Dora Petit, MUA. Petit, PETIT, Dora Petit MUA. I also have my website, dorapetitmakeup.com. On Facebook, Dora Petit Makeup, or pretty much everywhere. I reply every message. I am not a diva. You see me with my phone all the time. My husband will be like, "What are you doing? It's Sunday at 10 p.m. I'm replying on inquiry. A bright side to me.
The evening. I'm in high demand. People need my help.
Yes, super Dora to the rescue.
That's right. You're saving us all.
But yes, I'm very active on Instagram. There's also my portfolio there, Dora Petit MUA.
Wonderful. I will try and link it also below, so everyone can just click and go. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on our podcast, Weddings and Mimosas. Do you have anything you want to say before we close out?
Well, first, thank you for having me. It was so fun. I had so much fun doing this. And I also have to say that you're a great wedding planner. You're the first one that gave me the chance, because when I first moved here from another country, I didn't know anybody here. I texted everybody and the mamas, like they say. Nobody ever replied to me. Nobody ever say, "Hey, I want to work with you." You're the first one, so I will always be appreciative of that. I don't know what did I say. Maybe the champagne is kicking, but I really want to thank you for taking me in consideration.
Oh well, no, I love your work, and you have the wedding we worked together too was like a test of like endurance. And so that wedding day, I was just because like it's really easy to get along with people who are really easy to get along with, but sometimes there are people that are not easy to get along with. Yeah. And you were just such a shining light that day. And not only that, but you're just so talented. And so I'm so grateful that you're on our podcast. Yeah, and you. I just wish you all the best. And if you need a makeup artist, Dora Petit really is the best.
Call me.
Call her. So, cheers.
Cheers.
More episodes are coming soon. Have a great day and stay tuned for more.